Hello, welcome to another Delia Secondary Lunch and Learn, informal teacher PD every Wednesday at lunch. So today's topic is automated forms, surveys, and quizzes. I'm going to go over some softwares that can help you automate data collection. The first one is Google Forms, which works in correlation with Google Sheets. So if you have a lot of data that you want to compile, you could share a collaborative Google Sheet, but one of the downfalls is it's not anonymous, and often the students won't put in all the information I want. So if you're looking to collect a lot of data, like these website URLs, you could just design a form that has all the different boxes that you need students to fill in. The new Google Forms has so many new templates to choose from, it's really easy to set up and add different questions. There's also a built-in response function, so you can quiz the class and kind of take up the answers together. There's no instant feedback for students. They don't know whether they're right or wrong until you take up their results together. On the teacher side, when the answers from the form compile into a Google Sheet, which can look kind of chaotic, but the added benefits are you can add graphs and visualize this data using the functions of Google Sheets. The only way to auto-grade a Google form is by using a Flubaroo add-on. So this will automatically calculate averages for you, but again, the students won't get this sort of feedback. So it's more collection for the teacher. So Google Forms integrates easily with Google. It has the ability to create anonymous surveys. It's great for large sets of data, and all your responses are kind of in one place in Drive with all your other documents. Some of the pitfalls of Google Forms include the fact that there's no student collaboration when you give quizzes or things like that. There's no quiz games at all. There's no instant feedback, and there's no auto-grading unless you use that Flubaroo add-on. Now, Google Classroom just last week added this polling feature. So now in your Google Classroom, if you ask a question, there's additional functions like asking a multiple choice question that's sort of like a Google form built right into Classroom. I really like this one where you can ask, about the progress of the student work, like how far are you guys, how are you doing on this, just like a nice little check-in. So the polling feature in Google Classroom, definitely something to take a look at. I think a lot of teachers at the school are already familiar with Kahoot, which is a sort of gamified quiz software. It's very easy to set up. You can upload images to go with your questions, and then you select what's the correct answer and the incorrect answer. Then students can just put in a class code, no login required, and you can play this timed game where after each question it brings up a leaderboard of who got the most points based on how quickly they answered and the correctness of their answer. So super engaging, quick sort of game that you can play at the beginning of class or at the end to review the main topics. So it's gamified quizzes. You can also create surveys if you want a more text-based response from students. I do like that it gives instant feedback, whether they are right or wrong on questions. The responses are auto-graded, and you can export directly to Drive, which is nice. Now, some of the downfalls is it's not integrated with Google Classroom, but you would just need to easily post a URL on your Classroom. This is not a big deal at all. It doesn't connect to Google accounts, so you do have to have a separate login as a teacher. And it doesn't collect student IDs. The students simply put in a username. So you gotta hope that they're putting their full name and it goes in alphabetical order for you. Otherwise, it could be a little bit messy when you export to Drive.
Socrative, and I like this one because of the options you have. So when you log in, you can use your Google account. Here sets up a class code. Now mine's been customized, so it's really easy to actually connect with the students. When you set up a quiz, you just put in the question, different answers, and you select which one is correct. Now an added bonus of this one is you can also give explanations for the wrong answers. So the kids get not just automatic feedback of right and wrong, but an explanation of why their incorrect answers are not right. So if we go back to the main screen, underneath Start a Quiz is Space Race, and this is the option to do gamified quizzes that put the students on different teams. So now instead of working individually, you can set how many teams you want in the class. All the information is color-coded and compiles really neatly, and you can also export it as an Excel spreadsheet, so this can be converted easily into sheets. So to sum it up, Socrative, log in with Google, team gamified quizzes, feedback with explanations, and these responses are auto-graded by the program and you can export to Excel. Some of the pitfalls: it doesn't have a direct integration with Google Classroom, but it's very easy to post the URL to Socrative on your classroom. Also, I noticed you can't add videos to your questions like some of the other softwares. You can only add pictures to your questions. Next is quizzes, and I believe you guys use this one for, well, the high school teachers use this in their homeroom challenges. So quizzes, again, is very similar to Kahoot and Socrative, where you ask a question, you put the possible answers, you select which one's correct. Now this one is only multiple choice answers. You can't do a survey, you can't do text-based questions, but it's really good for multiple choice. Quizzes is the only software that has this direct integration with Google Classroom. So a quiz in Quizzes, you can then just share directly to a Google Classroom and it'll post for you. I really like the visualization of the results as well for quizzes. It's really aesthetically pleasing, the way that they've laid out the information you get back. One of the bonus features for quizzes as well is that you can assign quiz as homework. So you could set up an assignment directly linked to your Google Classroom, and then kids can complete the task at their own pace, and you can easily get the results from that quiz taken. The quizzes, classroom, Google integration, gamified class quizzes, easily view results, set for homework, and of course that instant feedback for the kids while they're taking the quizzes, just whether they're right or wrong. Some of the downfalls: again, no surveys, you can't do text-based answers. It doesn't collect the student's ID, but if you do the integration with Google Classroom, it does, because you'll see who's answered the questions. Text-based answers. Next, Quizlet. Now Quizlet's known for being a good tool for flashcards, and a lot of teachers use it for vocabulary, but actually just last week they added a game feature. Go to the Quizlet website, there is a demo you can try. So what happens is it takes your flashcards, the things you've already set up, and you and the people in your group have these different cards, and if you think you have the answer, then you select your card. So I just got a point for the Tigers. Now this next one, let's see, oh, I got this one wrong. So it gives that instant feedback, but there's no place for explanations. So Quizlet, you can connect using your Google account, you can make flashcards. This new gamified class quiz feature seems pretty good, and instant feedback for the kids. Some of the downfalls for Quizlet though, because it's a little bit different than the other ones, you can't create surveys, it doesn't collect the student IDs when you do the games. It's text-based answers it doesn't do, and this is only timed quizzes. So if you want the students to take a second to think about the questions, this is probably not the software for it. It's more of like a race, a competitive kind of game. Alright, that's all for today. Anyone who attended got 50 points for the Delia Tech Challenge, and I will see you next week for the Delia Secondary Lunch and Learn, informal teacher PD every Wednesday at lunch.